Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us.
You got to be kidding. Oh, wow. This whole time, I have been muted. You can't be serious. Anyway, welcome to the Beatzilla PDX official show. I'm your host, Beatzilla PDX officially. This is the midweek report, and we are here on the upload. So this is a pre-recorded video, of course, premiere. But thank you for being here. Please hit that like button, share it on your social media, and this camera or this broadcast will be, of course, mostly a off-camera video. So I just wanted to open up the broadcast by saying hello, and this is who you are hearing speaking. So with that being said, um, let's get to what we have to talk about. Like I said, as you are coming in, please hit the like and share button if you will. Target missing the mark in Portland, but lied and blamed crime, which over the course of, I guess, since the 2020 uprising, the one thing that you heard blaring out a lot was crime, crime, crime. And they did an awful lot of talking about crime in Portland. Well, let me get this banner off the screen. If you look at the two headlines on the screen, this one, Target, they announced a few months ago that Target closing 3 stores in Portland. Now, if you'll remember, some months back, we had Walmart dropping out, and they actually closed 2 of their stores in the city, to which there are still Walmarts. They did not leave the Portland area altogether. They just left the metropolitan area, which they were honest in their depiction of what was happening. And what's so crazy is when they announced it, the media immediately went to targeting crime as the reason that Walmart was closing. And everybody went to crime, 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 crime. Now, remember, I've told y'all before that when they use the word crime, crime is interchangeable for black. That's like a dog whistle code word. When you hear crime, and we got to do something about the crime, that means we got to do something about the black people. That's what that means. So when you see things like, oh man, Walmart is pulling out, it's a big major store. Okay, well, here is another big box store, which is funny because do you realize how people were going in on big box stores not so long ago? Like, oh man, big box stores are the devil, man. You know, you're shopping at Target, you're shopping at Walmart, you're just contributing to the degradation of our society, man. Well, none of those people are loud at all about this. And here's the thing for me. You're putting it on crime. It's crime, it's crime. Here's how they've been trying to portray it. And this is just a flashback look on Twitter. To kind of give you an idea of how they've been selling this crime thing ever since the George Floyd 2020 racial reckoning and uprising that has taken place, and things that have taken place since. You saw a bunch of random red or pink wearing hoodie people and jacket folks and hat folks that were supposedly being melanated, attacking Asians for a period in time until they accomplished the law that it was meant to do. And then all of a sudden, miraculously, those random attacks and uptick in attacks ceased. Then to find out that, lo and behold, black folks are still top of the pile with the ever increasing number of hate crimes, of being victims of, that is. So in the same time, some would say if you had to combat that, well, then one good way of making sure the black community in no way looks as a victim, you start making them criminal. And, you know, you might find some wayward idiot out there to take some pay to go carry out a political agenda to make sure that certain people are looked at in certain ways. And again, we're going to break all of this down when I go through these stories here, especially as it comes to Portland. But I just want you to pay attention. This particular story on Twitter right now is looters ransack Philadelphia stores. Check this out.
These kinds of smash and grab crimes have become all too common, forcing a growing number of retailers to try to combat the thefts. This morning, one of them, Target, is taking drastic action to reduce retail crime. The company announcing it'll shut down 9 stores by the end of October, 3 in both San Francisco and Portland, 2 in Seattle, and 1 in New York City. The company blaming the closures on theft and organized retail crime.
Now, theft and organized retail crime. That's very interesting when you hear those lines, those words coupled together. Theft and organized and crime. If you were a Soul Train scramble board contestant and you saw the words that are on your screen, do you see the letters on your screen that would spell out what they are trying to pull off right now when you hear theft and organized retail crime? Retail. You have many of vowels to choose from. Crime. And of course, last but not least, organized. Huh. That almost sounds like a conspiracy, huh? Huh. Interesting. But it's okay, so theft and organized retail crime. Well, then we might have to look at what things are actually truthfully organized here.
Threatening the safety of our team and guests.
This is crazy. Locking up the toothpaste.
The move comes after videos from inside Target stores went viral, showing everyday items locked behind security glass, frustrating shoppers.
Since when did my local Target start locking everything up?
Those lock cases, just one of the ways the retailer says it tried to deal with shoplifting, saying despite our efforts, we continue to face fundamental challenges to operating these stores. Target is not alone. In 2021, Walgreens closed 5 locations in San Francisco over shoplifting fears. And while Walmart and Nordstrom have also closed some locations in major cities, neither blamed crime.
Because it wasn't crime. You had a international shutdown. I mean, an international shutdown. And somehow all of this just boils down to crime. All the woes of the fight. We would just be doing fine financially if it wasn't for all that darn crime. That doesn't make sense. No, what it is telling you the effects of the shutdown had major consequences and it's having a major effect. Not to mention, a lot of these people that are running around here doing some of these things happen to also have been some of the same people that was lined up getting certain things. So, and miles long carloads of people getting certain things. I'm just saying, this is something that, they're being dishonest. Because it's not no crime, and there's no crime spike. That's the thing about it. Like here in my city, They're reporting a crime low. We had a whole month without a homicide. An entire month. Crime is definitely going down. And this has nothing to do with more police at all, by the way. So just saying.
Still, in a newly released survey conducted by the National Retail Federation, 88% of responding retailers said shoplifters have become more aggressive, and 28% say they had to close some locations due to crime.
Due to crime. Do you really believe that, though? I don't. I don't believe that that is real. You know, and Target permanently closing its doors. So here, let's get to the local situation and the local scene of this Target crime farce. Let's break this down.
And places to buy the items they need to live on.
This week, Target announced that it will close 9 stores in 4 states next month.
I'm very sorry to see it go.
3 of those in Portland.
That's a surprise, but not too surprising.
I'm pretty disappointed, to be honest.
Where do people buy groceries now?
The Galleria location downtown, right next door to the soon-to-open Ritz-Carlton.
You take your life in your hands, just walking through here, because they will scream and yell at you.
The Target in Hollywood District on Northeast Halsey across from Trader.
Okay, that's a little choppy. Let me do this. I'm going. Okay, there we go.
Difficult for people who have a low income to find affordable retail and places to buy the items they need to live on.
This week, Target announced that it will close 9 stores in 4 states next month.
I'm very sorry to see it go.
3 of those in Portland.
That's a surprise, but not too surprising.
I'm pretty disappointed, to be honest.
Where do people buy groceries now?
The Galleria location downtown, right next door to the soon-to-open Ritz-Carlton.
You take.
Now, listen to what they just said. Next door to the about-to-open Ritz-Carlton. The Ritz is about to open here, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, you heard it. The Ritz-Carlton. It is a new apartment complex. It is a hotel. So it's a condominium. I think they have condos. They might have a section that's for lease. And then they have the actual Ritz-Carlton hotel. And all of that is within this building right here that you see in front of you. So this right here is 10th and Alder. That's Southwest 10th and Alder. If you were to go up just a few blocks, I guess that would be south. From there on 10th, you would run into a Safeway. About 4 blocks south. That's 10th and Jefferson. Yeah, if you go to 10th and Jefferson, Southwest 10th and Jefferson, there is a Safeway that most of the PSU students, that's Portland State University, that's where most of those students shop, and the people that live over there in Goose Hollow. So there is a Safeway that's right there that a lot of those people go to. Now, if you didn't want to do that, you could continue down 10th and go ahead and keep crossing Alder and go all the way to Burnside. Make a left on the Burnside. Go up to, I believe that's 21st Avenue. You're on 10th right there. You go up to 21st Avenue. Burnside from this point, ladies and gentlemen, is about 5 blocks. You go 5 blocks north, then turn west on Burnside and go up to 21st Avenue. And there is a very large size Fred Meyer's. For those who are unfamiliar with the West Coast, Fred Meyer's is a Kroger brand store and a very big one at that. So there is a big Fred Meyer sitting right there. So, and then again, if you wanted to go down just a few more blocks on the northwest side of town, there is another Safeway on 10th. So, and by the way, there's, I believe that's 10th and I can't remember the street name, but there's a streetcar that actually runs down this particular street, 10th Avenue. So I just find it very strange that people, where will people go? Where they buy their groceries? Oh, here's another little tasty tidbit of information. Nobody in Portland, Oregon buys their groceries at Target. Nobody. Literally nobody buys groceries at Target. If you are buying groceries at Target, it's because you're staying at a hotel close to one. But those of us who live here are going to drive right past Target to go to Winco, Safeway, Fred Meyer. We ain't even going to Walmart for no grocery shopping. So, I mean, it's amazing. You got the grocery outlet, New Seasons, Whole Foods, Natural Grocers. Like, what are you kidding? So it's a joke. With the angle they're trying to spin here is if this is some kind of food desert, and it is not. Not to mention, this is a highly, oh yeah, because if you go up another block, there's the Max train. So transportation is not an issue in this particular zone right here. This is the hub of downtown. Every train in the city runs through this joint. So it's really amazing that they're trying this. But because on the other side, so from the entrance to this Target that's closing is a train. There's literally a train that lets off right across the street. And they're going out of business. You mean to tell me that's because of crime? Or is it because this Ritz-Carlton is about to hop up in there and they might not want that type of traffic over there? Who knows? But,
It's your life in your hands just walking through here because they will scream and yell at you.
The Target.
Now, listen to what he just said. You want to hear how they hype things up? Listen to what he just said.
You take your life in your hands just walking through here because they will scream and yell at you.
The Target in Hollywood District on Northeast Haas from Trader Joe's and Southeast Powell just down the road from Cleveland High School.
Me and all my friends go there often, but I can understand it. There's a lot of theft, I think.
Bingo.
Me and my friends go there often, but there's a lot of theft there, I think. Now, mind you, I just hope you two are that there's something that you have noticed thus far as we're talking about all of this crime. Have you seen a black person even in the background of any of these videos other than the one that NBC was posting about Philadelphia? But understand the demographics of a flash mob and who's paying. It all depends. All right, man, we see paid agent provocateurs everywhere. Why would this be different?
Oh, Target citing ongoing problems with theft and organized retail crime for permanent closing of the doors.
But yeah, see.
Now, here's the other thing. Notice something. Notice what you're actually looking at in this shot.
Closing of the doors.
But yeah, I see people walking out with full backpacks and stuff. It's a pretty common occurrence. A lot of theft, I think.
Bingo. Target citing ongoing.
And there's a whole security guard right there. There's a whole security guard right here. But all this crime, well, what is their security doing?
Problems with theft and organized retail.
Oh, no, that's a cop. Better yet. So you guys got a cop walking through the store? That's a sheriff. The hell's going
Crime
on
for permanent closing of the doors.
But yeah, I see people walking out with full backpacks and stuff. It's a pretty common occurrence.
And I've seen people in the stores stealing stuff and then just running out the door.
15 stores will remain open in Portland. Eligible employees of the shuttered stores will be offered an opportunity to transfer.
I'm sorry to see stores like Target moving out of Central City. But you know what? We're going to create that place where people want to come back and have their businesses. So maybe they'll come back because we'd like them back.
It would be great to have someplace like Target come back, but we're going to have to get things cleaned up and people to feel safe coming down here.
As for those who need to find another neighborhood retail
Family, as a let me tell you something. This whole feel safe thing in downtown Portland is a crock of crap. I mean, it's such a joke. It's so overdone. This is what overhyping for political means looks like. Not to mention, oh man, we gonna get into it. But I mean, this is just how they're playing it, and this is like maybe a month or two ago when they first announced that they were closing the stores. So this is from like early September or mid-September-ish. So I guess, yeah, roughly around a month ago. Yeah. Yeah, okay.
store to shop at ASAP.
Amazon, they deliver everything.
If you have a place to get it delivered to, I'm lucky that I do. I have a home.
I might walk down to Plaid Pantry. It's like a few blocks away, though. I'll probably be.
Okay, now what he just said, oh, there's Plaid Pantry right down there. Here's another thing that this kid didn't tell you. Oh boy. See, this is the way they set these things up. And this is that's why I wanted to really kind of break this one down, because they're trying to blame crime. And again, when I say crime, they mean black people, although there's no black people in the midst. So this is a way of invoking anti-blackness in a midst to where there aren't even any black folks that you could finger for all of this crime. But so just peep the game though, because see, they'll say crime here and then they'll show you Philadelphia, which the demographic being mostly black. So peep how they worked that, and they manipulated that for a good 2 years, talking about crime and crime. And so every time you're thinking protest, and then you have these flash mobs, which I believe, just my own opinion, I suspect that they might be paid agents to do that, to make sure a certain face is on a certain something. So, and then they're like organized crime. Just something to consider, family. I'm just saying. And again, these, if you look up there, look to the left, you see that says bowl. It's not because that's the bowl section. That used to be a bowling alley. So the bowling alley went out of business in this very same location. Target decided to open up a store. If you look straight back here, here's where the food section is, all the way in the back. Look at how the store is set up. What are you serving? What is the business model of this store? It's really everywhere and nowhere at the same time. So what they're trying to tell you, their failed business model has something to do with the people. And that's just simply not true. You're lying on the public.
Be late to some of my classes.
Now, Target is closing stores in other states, including New York, San Francisco, and Seattle. All these stores are expected to close on October 21st.
Right. Okay. Something else that kid said. He's right across the street from a Burgerville, which is a Coca-Cola sponsored local burger chain. Right 2 blocks down from that is a convenience store. So he said he has to walk down to Plaid Pantry. Well, he has his pick, because he could either walk uphill to Plaid Pantry or walk downhill to Plaid Pantry, since both of them are within the exact same walking distance either way. But before he gets to the one, he'll pass a Burgerville and he'll pass a convenience store. But on his way to the other Plaid Pantry, he'll pass a whole brewery that, I guess if you had DoorDash, you could most definitely order your food to pick up. Or you could just save yourself some money and stop at McDonald's, which is literally behind the alley of the back of the Cleveland High School. I mean, so yeah. Oh, and across the street from McDonald's is Starbucks. I'm confused at where any kind of hassle would be. You understand what I'm saying? But the way they're making it, oh my God, it's going to turn into a food desert, dude. And oh man, the crime, man. Me and my friends go there all the time, by the way. But now you don't know where nobody knows where the crime is coming from, but yet and still he's there all the time though, huh? Like, how does that make sense? All right. So here's another. Let me get to this. Get this ready here for y'all, because y'all got to hear how they like spinning things. Here's another piece from our local news, and when they're interviewing these people about what's going on in these areas, and they overhype it. It's like, not to say that people are actors, but make you wonder sometimes.
Have any low cost places to get food down here?
Yeah, you absolutely do. One being Safeway, who everything that Safeway has is going to be cheaper than going into a Target. That's another thing about Target's prices. Target's food prices are not cheap. Actually, they're rather inflated. So it's amazing that they keep talking about this low income eating at Target. Nobody goes to Target to get groceries in this city. You don't ever go to Target and see people people go to Target for other things. Then they go to the real grocery store to go do their grocery shopping. Target is not a grocery store. It is a it's a large convenience store that has a pharmacy and a very limited food section. I mean, this is Portland, Oregon. We're not going to be spending money going and getting vegetables from no Target. Are you kidding? Not in this town. To go get something that came off a truck, I could go down the street to the produce stand. There's produce stands all over this city you can go get your eggs from a chicken that laid them today or yesterday. That's what type of town this is. So I don't know where that's why I had to gravitate towards this video, because they're trying to make this seem like something it's not. So number one, the way that Target makes its money in this town, the very least is groceries. So the way they're putting, I see people running in here. Well, it ain't got nothing to do with the food. So they keep trying to bring it in like, oh man, the food, and man, it's gonna like they're making it a food desert, and they are not.
Oh, first Walmart, then Nike, now Target, the corporate retail giant, the latest to announce they're pulling some of their stores out of Portland. It's 10 o'clock. Good evening. I'm Jeff Gianola.
And I'm Elizabeth.
They keep throwing Nike in there, but Nike is really, it's kind of irrelevant to throw in there, because truth be told, by the Nike factory store that was on Martin Luther King Avenue here, they closed it because of they were doing the flash mob thing and they got hit. However, this is the home of Nike, and with all of the employees that can get access to controlled environments of shopping, a Nike store on MLK is only missed because of convenience. So I'll put it to you like that. So and Nike ain't hurting and crying. They're just not gonna, like, if it's gonna be a loss, they're gonna close it. Simple as that. But they still own that big old property over there in the hood. So we'll see. Nonetheless, let's hear more.
Then the Target closures come as the company points to issues with retail crime and safety.
Jamie Seymour has been following this announcement all day. She joins us. So, Jamie, the question comes up, which locations exactly in Portland will be closing?
Jeff, Liz, the 3 locations they narrowed it down to are the Galleria, the Powell location, and here at the Hollywood store, which just opened 2 years ago. And shoppers tell us these will be huge losses for the communities.
Customers and staff left.
Okay. Let me tell you about that Hollywood Target. I'm pretty sure I have never been in there. As far as I know, I can't recall that I have made it into that particular Target. And I shop at a store not too far from there, which is the one of the grocery outlet locations they got over there. The dollar store is pretty much done with the crap. But there's a big old Hollywood Fred Meyer, which is Hollywood District rather. Hollywood Fred Meyer's not too far from that Target. So there would never, and that's like, when I say a huge, that's like a Fred Meyer marketplace. So it's one of the super duper big Fred Meyers. It has everything from clothes. You're talking about a Fred Meyer's the size of a Costco or something like that. So there's, again, the ring of dishonesty here. And they keep throwing these things out there like, man, and they're closing these stores. Okay, the model of that store, before there was a Target there, number one, I don't know what this omen is, but that used to be the Hollywood Bowl. So the one on Powell, so Southeast Portland, Powell, it was at Brunswick Lanes, and then Hollywood. That's Hollywood Bowl. That's what that is, the Hollywood Bowl. And then where they are at the Galleria is what used to be a mall itself. It is now a building that facilitates different things. One of being which is a culinary institute. So, and that's, I believe, who has majority of the space, but it is no longer, and it has not functioned as a mall in God knows how long. So putting everything in perspective, this location, the Southeast location, and the Hollywood location have all been failed businesses. And the Hollywood location, this is the second to third business failing in that location as of recent years. So it's not really a big surprise because those were never great areas to begin with. Again, what I'm telling you is these people, this big box corporations, their big model or their business model for these areas sucks. That's why they're going out of business. Nobody shops here. And oh, yeah, by the way, if you're downtown and they're talking about, oh man, well, retail, nobody's going to Target to go get clothes with an H&M down the street. That no one's doing that. So, I mean, I'm just telling you, they're lying all the way around.
Left stunned as Target announced it's closing 3 Portland stores. The corporate giant citing repeat issues with theft and organized crime, threatened safety of staff and customers,
Organized crime,
and business loss. Some downtown residents and shoppers say they would have liked to see more done by corporate.
If they were so worried about food theft, they'd have cashiers, right? Scanning each and every item.
Target says despite efforts like boosted security and theft detection.
Now, again, what did she say? Food theft. So where is your crime coming from? Coming from those who aren't able to get food. Well, you have a huge homeless population downtown Portland. So you would have, it would be safe to say that you would have that. Now, here's another looking in the window. You see security. They got security. I mean, because that's one thing my wife said to me. Well, every time I go into Target, there's security. And you're looking at 2 security guards right there by the entrance. But it's crime and all of this crime and crime and crime and crime. At some point, wouldn't there be some run-ins with security and incidents where security guards were got something hit or hurt or because somebody's trying to get away? But you're not even hearing those stories. They're just throwing some general crime thing out there, and that's what's crazy.
Devices, it wasn't enough to keep the stores going. 9 stores overall will close across the country, including Seattle, New York, and San Francisco. A third of the closures in Portland, with the downtown Galleria, Southeast Powell, and the Northeast Hollywood store, which just opened in 2021.
And now it's going to go away. So I want you guys to consider what that means for low-income people in the area.
Tom Gilpatrick, who founded
It means nothing. It only means something for those of you who are looking to steal from them in the first place. So, like when you're stealing food. So, did you interview one of those food thieves there at Channel 12 or Channel 6? Because that is not a low income place to shop for groceries. Let's put it that way. I mean, you might find better prices at 7-Eleven. I mean, come on, man. What are you getting at Target in the grocery section? But nonetheless, I do understand what a homeless person would need with a Target. So, look at what they're going to do. I guess they're going to have to start heading up towards Safeway. And Safeway ain't closing. Safeway and neither is the nice fancy big Fred Meyer's down there. They ain't going nowhere. They be having beer and wine tastings in that one too, and all types of stuff. So yeah, they good. There's a Zupan's right up the way too. If you really feeling like you want to spend some money for nothing or on just being fancy.
the Center for Retail Leadership at Portland State, says there's a widespread impact in the community when big retail stores leave.
Investors who are looking for a place would be cautioned to invest in an area where companies are pulling out.
In a statement to Coin 6, Mayor Tad Wheeler called the move disheartening, adding, quote, as we continue making strides to restaff the Portland Police Bureau and partner on targeted retail theft missions, we are also implementing increased safety measures like enhanced lighting and foot patrols to create safer public spaces for everyone.
Now, this is what he's saying. So again, what he's saying is at the time that this is being reported, the police are currently understaffed, meaning that if there is a dip in crime, that dip in crime is not coming by way of more police.
These holes are tough. I think we certainly have seen that in downtown Portland.
The closures are set for October 21st.
We also sent some follow-up questions to Target regarding the employees that are impacted by this and whether they're going to be transferred to other stores or given any kind of severance, and we have not yet heard back. Reporting live in Northeast Portland, Jamie Seymour, Coin 6 News.
Yeah, and these.
Yeah. And so there's that. But family. Oh, Lord. So let me show you this next one because we have to. And so there's been an update to this particular story. Not that one. We'll be getting to that soon. But yeah, I just wanted to. There we go. Now check this out. Hmm. Now, and with that being said, okay, they were able to make a reference to all of these other incidents that you've seen, where you seen the flash mobs and whatnot. So just how with the first video I played, y'all, they're using that as a template for to prepare your mind for what they're talking about. So again, trying to find a way to hold on to the crime narrative being associated with a certain group of people, namely foundational Black Americans. Let's go ahead. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Okay. So now what's that? What is that saying? You're citing reasons of being crime publicly. Crime is the reason. Crime is the reason. What happens also when you start falsely mentioning crime and that becomes the public sentiment of a certain place? Doesn't the property value then change? Or you create a condition to usher in new laws or new ideas of how to address said crime. I mean, there's a couple things that could be at play. Oh my goodness. Don't tell me, family. Lord, let me go back. I can't believe this. Oh no. So I got to get back to a minute so y'all can get all of it. Let's go.
Portland will lose 3 Target stores across the city.
And the company says crime is to blame for the store closures, but our investigative team dug into Target's claims and found that that may not be the full story. Fox 12's Ezra Kaplan has that report. Ezra?
Yeah, it is a volatile time for the retail industry. From e-commerce to inflation, there's a lot of pressure on the bottom line. But according to Target, there's a more nefarious reason for shuttering 3 stores across the city. Retail crime isn't new. We've seen the videos of smash and grabs, sprays in halls and daylight, and even armed robberies. And at a business that can have tight profit margins, losing inventory to theft can really hurt the bottom line. So it wasn't entirely surprising when Target blamed crime as they announced the closure of 3 locations in the Portland area last month, saying We cannot continue to operate in these stores because theft and organized retail crime are threatening the safety of our team and guests and contributing to unsustainable business performance. But when the Fox 12 investigative team took a look at police dispatch data from stores around Portland, the numbers don't support Target's stated reasoning. We compiled police dispatch data from these 6 locations around Portland. What we found was that every Target remaining open had higher property crime rates, like burglary, theft, and robbery, than the stores slated to close. And when we expanded that data to all police dispatches, the rate of crime didn't support the company's reasoning for the closures. Target declined multiple requests for comment on our findings. The company does not make data about theft at stores publicly available. And across the country, a similar story. In Seattle, where 2 stores are closing, the Seattle Times found that the locations with the most calls for police were staying open.
Now, the ones with most calls to police, those stores are staying open. So what they are saying is certain things about where these particular stores are located, they want to close those stores. And like I said, for all intents and purposes, in my view and from my vantage point, I would say the business model sucks. So there isn't, there's nobody going to shop, and the one thing they keep complaining about is food theft. You're having food theft from a place that really can't sell you any food. And I guess that is one of the things that is really noticeable for me, because no one, and I do mean no one in the city of Portland, gets their groceries from Target. And there's so many nice big Targets that you could go to if you really wanted to hit a Target. You could go out to Cascade Station. You could go out to Gateway. So, I mean, there's so many options. So many options. But what they're trying to sell you on, and they've been saying, well, it's going to be a food desert. If we don't have, food here, it's going to be a desert. Don't believe the hype. And now, as you see, like Walmart at least told the truth. Nordstrom's told the truth. It had nothing to do with crime. That was not the overarching end of their stores. No, the stores were just simply unperforming on their own, as did a lot of businesses who have failed since 2020 to now.
Investigation by Insider found that crime data didn't line up with the planned store closures in San Francisco or New York. Back in Portland, Andrew Hone, the president and CEO of the city's Chamber of Commerce, is frustrated with the narrative that businesses are running away from Portland because of crime. What is the impact on both the city as well as any businesses coming in when you hear a major retailer, an institution like Target, just simply blaming crime?
Right. And I think you see these large national chains and employers making announcements like this, and we're part of a bigger repositioning. Yeah, this happened with Walmart. This is not a new phenomenon. And we know that this is because of much bigger economic considerations than just a single topic. It's part of the conversation. Public safety is part of the conversation. But what it does is feed into a national narrative that there is an issue here in Portland that is much worse than our neighbors or our peers. And we know that isn't true.
Now, here's something that he actually said that's very important. It feeds into a national narrative. You don't say.
And the impact to the community.
Like the national narrative to which they feed us, and the likeness that they hold us in, because that is a national narrative that we face. This we know is true. So, it's just very interesting when people can recognize how propaganda can harm a certain group of people, or in this case, harm a whole territory, a city, if you will. And that's the type of damage that absolutely, most definitely can be done. And it ain't cool, is it? Of course it's not. But nonetheless, you know, you see them still doing it.
Community goes beyond lose a place to shop. Across the 3 closing stores, 158 employees will lose their jobs.
To lose a anchor business like a Target that serves a neighborhood that has people living there is extremely challenging and frustrating. And it does not help the reputation of Portland to lose stores, to lose jobs, and to lose a neighborhood amenity like that.
Hone is the first to acknowledge that crime in downtown Portland has been a challenge to be addressed. But he says there is a picture that this Target announcement seems to be disregarding.
So I think first, let's just be real, not a good story. I think the nuance that you're describing is something that we have been struggling with here for so long, where we are hearing one story from businesses about why they're closing, but understanding that there are realities that are much bigger than just a simple black and white. We know that the story is much more complex than just, hey, it's crime.
3 stores across Portland
Facts.
locking their doors, leaving behind a community and unanswered questions. Now,
And one of those unanswered questions for me is what's going on in those areas that the stores are being closed in? Because is there a reason? You know what I mean? Is there something that is causing, like, you know, is there something coming down the pike that would be bad to have a business in this area? Or are you making way for something else? Or you understand what I'm saying? That's how I look at these things. But also, again, all 3 of these places were absolutely placed in loser positions. Nowhere. This is where Target was trying to, I guess, show that they were different, because Target has always been one of those stores that you'll find on the outskirt malls. That's where Target, their main bread and butter has always been. Like, you know, out by the airport, you know, out in the suburban mega mall. You know, this is where Targets are usually found. So to see how this whole thing has transpired is, Target doesn't really come into the city like that, but now it does, of course. Well, and now they're gone. So as fast as they came is as fast as they went. As fast as that lie that they told too, because they were closing these stores based and due to crime, which police records are showing a different tale. Also, here's the other aspect of it. Not all of the people that they were seeing criminalize their business were people that they wanted to call the police on. So there's also that to consider. Just saying. So, you know, I wanted to hit this particular story. Target missing the mark in Portland, but lied and blamed crime because their business model for the urban inner city, and I guess neo-urban inner city, their business model sucks. Your food is too expensive, it's not fresh enough, and everything is packaged. In a city to where organic groceries are the norm. So there is no reason to blame the people for a bad business model. And that is what I believe Target has done here. So shame on you, Target, because this ain't the people. And again, when you're talking crime, They, for the last 2 years since the uprising in 2020, they have been trying to tie all crime to black folks. Crime, crime, crime. Just mean black. And Target, this right here is mighty anti-black of you to pull that, because you're saying it's crime. We're closing all of these stores because of crime. For all you know, these people could have been paid by certain folks, just by the same people who was paying folks to go burn stuff and break windows and protest. Could be the same people for all we know. We don't know. But with that being said, breaking news. So some of y'all might have already gotten wind of this, because it has already made the view. I posted this on my Twitter a few days back, or it might be on my Instagram, or both. But nonetheless, Sheila Jackson Lee got caught on a off the cuff on one of those random conversations that people record, and I guess again with her being a politician, and think of all the things we hear about verbal abuse and blah blah blah. Well, just something to put in perspective when the politicians that you want us to believe in are so detached from anything else other than their business. They are basically in show business. And so this is kind of how when people hear about how their celebrity, their favorite celebrity actually is in real life, because they had, and one of the reasons is because they maintain keeping up their image. Like Sheila Jackson Lee right here, ladies and gentlemen.
You took a piece of paper from that woman regarding something that was over at Duncan Tail. Where is it? What date was it?
All from yesterday. Jerome took it upstairs. I have to call him. He took it up when I switched out the papers. I'll call him as soon as he gets here.
I don't want you to do a goddamn thing. I want you to have a fucking brain. I want you to have read it. I want you to say, Congresswoman, it was such and such date. That's what I want. That's the kind of staff that I want to have. So some stupid other motherfucker did it, and I don't have the information. Nobody sent me the information. I need to ensure my schedule. And, if boo-boo did it, shit-ass did it, fuckface did it, and nobody knows a goddamn thing in my office, okay? Nothing. I gave it to you. Your job was to get it on the calendar, imprint it in your brain, or send me the information back saying, Congresswoman, I made sure that the Ovi Duncan Tell event that you gave me for so-and-so date at 7 is on the fucking calendar. Not to, Jerome has it. Okay? So when I called Jerome, he gonna be sitting up there like a fat-ass, stupid idiot talking about what the fuck he doesn't know. Okay? Both of y'all are a fucking F. It's the worst shit that I could have ever had put together. Two goddamn big-ass children. Fucking idiots. Serve no goddamn purpose. Ain't managing nobody. Nobody's respecting them. Nobody gives a shit about what you're doing. And you ain't doing shit. And this is an example of it. I gave it to Jerome. This is not child's work. Okay?
Well, I guess they say good help is hard to find. And I guess that is true in Sheila Jackson Lee's case. Oh, man. But Lord, with that being said, there was one other particular TikTok clip I seen on Twitter that I found pretty interesting, and given from a certain person's own perspective, weighing in on the conflict in Gaza. So, without further ado, let's give you her.
Empires with the greatest colonial projects of the last few centuries, Great Britain and America are embroiled in the proliferation and creation of the Zionist campaign. It is wise to question the headlines that you are reading about what is happening between Israel and Gaza. I am Jewish and an Israeli citizen. My father moved to Israel in the late 80s from the USSR because of the law of return. The Israeli government was promising Jewish people across the diaspora citizenship, and a lot of Jews in the USSR saw a way out of an inhospitable regime. There were caveats. If you applied for an exit visa from the USSR, your passport was revoked because of the Iron Curtain, and you effectively could not return to the Soviet Union to visit your family. But then when the USSR collapsed, all of that changed, and my father was able to return with a tourist visa, and that is when he met my mom and asked her to join him in Israel. In the face of a destroyed government and economy, Israel was a lifeline for many people like my parents, but it was too good to be true, because when my mother, a non-Jewish woman, arrived to Israel, she was systemically bullied by the state to convert to Judaism just so that she can have minimum wage job prospects and get her children into schools. My mother had to hide in the closet of the bakery that she worked in because when the rabbi would come by, he would try to fire the Russian pig who was making the food unkosher. Conversion is a 2-year-long rigorous process in which you have to study rabbinical texts. And my mother doesn't speak Hebrew. She's an immigrant. She is poor as fuck and pregnant. It is the last thing that she wants to do just so that she can safely work for very little. My mother wasn't even receiving the brunt of the oppressive force of the Zionist state because she was white. I remember when I was in the 2nd grade in Israel, we had to do a diversity exercise where we were to go up to a board and put up the name of the country that we have associations with. The first child to go up was an Ethiopian kid, and at the time, and I believe still to this day, there are more Ethiopian Jews in Israel than there are in Ethiopia. Before anything could happen, children started booing and throwing things at him because he's black. He has nowhere to hide. And then a Russian kid comes up and he writes Russia. People are booing and throwing things at him. It is my turn, and I know that I cannot write Russian on that board, and I can hide behind my whiteness. I know that I am moving to America because we had just won a green card. So I come up to the board and I write America, and everybody starts applauding. 3 tenets of imperialism are at play within the consciousness of Israeli children: anti-blackness, the Red Scare, and American exceptionalism. The Zionist propaganda machine divides the Jewish people.
Babylon is fallen. Babylon is fallen. Let it fall and let us rise. Can you dig it? Ooh-wee. Actually, I like that. And so with that being said, this is being Target missing the mark in Portland, but lied and blame crime. And that's what we have discussed this evening, as well as 2 late additions. So, yeah, very interesting. I would definitely say very interesting. But with that, when you hear these lines, when they keep talking about crime, this, crime, that, we got to do something about crime, understand who they mean. Because if this was really truly about crime, the demographic into which would be the crime in these particular areas would not be foundational Black American at all. So maybe if there's crime, it's not going reported, or Target's just straight lying to begin with and getting on an anti-Black trope as a corporation, which is not unheard of or uncommon. So I'm sure there might be somebody out there that would disagree, and you can feel free to put that in the comments. However, just understand how you might be viewed by some that have some sense. Just saying. And again, when they say crime, it's all about getting things away. And they were also using words like organized and organized crime and organized theft. And see, when you're hearing things like that, there's a reason why those words are consistently being coupled together. So you're gonna have to stay mindful of that, family, because petty theft should not start instituting RICO charges. So let's be clear, but that's kind of the line. So, well, you got this jacket on that it was from a robbery or it was from a smash and grab, and so man, you getting up on conspiracy. So yeah, just be mindful of that, family. And I'm sure there might be people who, man, you overhyping it. No, I don't think so. Also, on top of that, I'm sure there are individuals who would say, well, if it's not really crime, it's probably still crime. Yeah, that's just a suspected white supremacist talking point. Whether you are black, non-black, non-white, or whatever, that's just what that is. So for those of us who do understand, they have some common sense. We understand what's in our best interest and what's not in our best interest. And Target really hasn't done anything other than start making good on having black people's products in their establishments. So they kind of got on that. But again, somebody over there has jumped on the old crime trope. And as you see, all of those places, like in New York, it's subsequently all of these places, with of course exception to here, that have they all, when that whole Stop Asian Hate thing was going on, all of those particular places were hotbeds. So the same places to where these stores were hotbeds for the anti-Asian hate crime that got them a bill. So it's just like I say, it's just, it's just interesting. Very interesting. And I'm sure, the Roland Martin lovers out there would be like, and the Vet Carnell people, you'd be, oh man, but see, that's why you got to vote. And that's why you got to vote. Yeah, vote for this.
So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No.
Yeah.
But I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't black.
Yeah. I'll take a pass. I'll take a hard pass. Because to me, I'm seeing this as I don't categorize this as a right or left wing type of thing. I just categorize it as an anti-black movement because you're trying to blame, because let's just be clear, they talking about crime. All of the crime talk stems from the uprising from George Floyd. So we understand what that's about. It's the one big Negro, and crime is the one big Negro. And so crime and our businesses are suffering a crime. No, your business is trash. But it's so much crime. And always remember what our great Dr. Martin Luther King said.
And a lot of white folk have demonstrated eloquently that they don't have no sense.
So again, if for the people who don't understand, there are some of us who look at things with a different eye, and we're not bound by brands, and we're not bound by celebrity worship and stuff like that. So you have to understand, we are just going to see things different, and we're never going to change our pivot on. We're not criminals as a as a community. That is not something that we ever need to accept or adopt. And so for those people who, oh man, you know, it was crime. No, it wasn't. This is actually the only criminal act here is Target blaming the people for their bad business model. So to Target, I'm going to say, I'll speak for myself, Beatzilla PDX official, Beatzilla PDX official show. Those of you in the chat, the grassroots, and the voices of new black media, I would think it'd be safe to say, I speak for all parties involved. When Target, then whoever is behind this lie of crime, when we dedicate this song to you.
Get up off of that cocaine and get up off of that crack. Get yourself together and get your mind back.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Thank y'all for tuning in once again to the Beatzilla PDX official show. And if there was a tether out there just waiting to get some attention, well, I can tell you, hashtag hands off our reparation.
You have no rights here. We're not under the empire.
Yes, indeed, family. Please, again, like and share this broadcast. You can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at beatzillapdx. You can email me at ourrealtruth@gmail.com. And if you feel so inclined to support this broadcast by donation, when you want to put some money in the bucket, you can definitely do so by Cash App at $beatzillapdx. That's Cash App, $beatzillapdx. And of course, we have PayPal, which is Zilla Muzak. That is ZILLAMUZAK at PayPal. And of course, like I said, please hit that like button. And with that being said, until next time, family, y'all stay black, stay vigilant, and stay alive. Black first, black first, black first. Shalom, y'all.
When you know who Satan is, yes, sir, you don't have to kill him. No. The stone of truth. Yeah. See, that's what you throw. Yes, right. Allah says, had we wished to take a pastime from before, surely we would have done it. Nay, we cast truth at falsehood till we knock out its brains. Every one of you that knows the truth, stand up and tell it from the mountaintop. Black people can't take it no more. So wherever you are on the job, in the factory, I don't care where you are. If you know the truth, stand up on the truth and tell Satan, who the hell are you to try and pick my friends? Farrakhan is God's man, and you are from the enemy of God. So to hell with you. Stand up on it like a man.